Episode 22, Why Good Men Feel Alone. There's something that I'm going to say that I've recognized in a lot of guys these days. And like all this stuff, you know, men don't talk about this. This is why this podcast exists. And they don't talk about it not because they don't feel it, but because they don't know how to explain it. And so often it's the same sort of setup. On paper, their life looks fine, right? Maybe even successful. They have a wife, a family, a job, a business, responsibilities, people depending on them. And yet there are moments when they feel completely alone. Not physically alone, something deeper. Like nobody really sees them. Like nobody knows what they're carrying. Like they're slowly disappearing inside their own life. And brother, if you've ever felt that, you're not crazy. You're certainly not weak, and you're definitely not the only one. This is one of the biggest lies that we face is we believe that we are the only one. It's made to feel like it's just us. But I talk with guys all the time, good men, responsible guys, men doing their best, but somewhere along the way they stopped being known. Because most men are taught how to provide, right? Very few are taught how to connect. The things we learn growing up are work harder, push through, handle it, carry it, figure it out. Don't complain, don't burden anybody. And for a while this all works, but there's an accumulation, right? Until one day you realize you're carrying everything alone, even when people are standing right beside you. And that's a strange kind of loneliness, because it's possible to be surrounded by people and still feel isolated. It's possible to sit beside your wife every night and still feel disconnected. Not because you don't love her, not because she doesn't love you, because somewhere along the way you stopped letting people see what was actually going on inside. And here's the hard truth. Most men don't hide from other people. Most men hide from themselves first. They stay busy, stay distracted, productive, occupied. This sounds reasonable, right, to our male brain. Anything to avoid sitting quietly with what's really happening. The stress, the fear, the grief, the disappointment, the pressure. Because if they slow down long enough, they might have to feel it. Might have to face the music. But eventually, the walls that we put up to protect also start to isolate us. And that's how loneliness happens. Not all at once, one layer at a time, one conversation avoided, one truth not spoken, one feeling just pushed down, one burden carried silently, until years later, a man looks around and realizes, I don't think anybody really knows me. And listen up, man, that realization, it can hurt. But it can also become a turning point, a catalyst. Because the answer isn't more achievement. The answer isn't becoming stronger. The answer isn't carrying more. The answer is connection. Real connection. The kind that starts with honesty. Not dumping your life on everybody. That's not what I'm talking about. But finding a place where you can stop pretending. Because pretending is exhausting. Trying to always be the strong one, trying to always have the answers, trying to always just look like everything's okay, that just wears a man out. And the irony is, the thing most men are afraid to do is usually the thing that starts setting them free. Telling the truth. Not dramatic truth, honest truth. I'm struggling. I'm tired. I'm scared. I'm carrying more than people realize. Maybe it's I don't know what to do next. Those conversations change lives because isolation, it just survives in secrecy. It thrives. But connection begins with honesty. And it's that same thing as just dragging things out into the light of day again. And honestly, one of the biggest things that I've learned in my own life through grief, through loss, through rebuilding, through coaching guys, is that healing rarely happens alone. We think that it can, but it rarely does. God designed us for relationship with Him and relationship with others. Even Jesus lived this way. Crowds, 12, then the 3 closest. Why? Proximity matters. Brotherhood matters. Being known matters. Not because men are weak. This isn't and it's not a vanity thing, because men were never designed to carry life entirely on their own. And if you're listening to this right now and quietly feeling alone, I want you to hear something. You do not need to keep carrying everything by yourself. You don't need another year pretending. You don't need another year just surviving. You don't need another year believing nobody would understand. Because there are other men, other guys. This is why I feel this calling so strongly. There's other men walking through the exact same battles. The drinking, the pressure, the marriage struggles, the business stress, the fear, the uncertainty, the grief. You're not the only one. And you never were. Scripture says, carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. Not carry them alone. The Bible doesn't say carry them alone. It says carry them together. So listen, brothers, sometimes the strongest thing a man can do is let himself be known, because that's where connection begins. And connection is often where healing starts. And if somewhere in this episode you realized you've been carrying more than anyone knows, head over to resurrectionkings.com. The podcast, the free resources, the Real Fight Guide, the Sivern app, and the coaching path, they're all there. And if you're tired of trying to figure it all out alone, just start a conversation. Man, that's what I'm here for. Because you were never meant to carry everything by yourself. And we're just getting started.